Mr. Quincy Taylor, how are you, sir?
Doing very well.
Good. Thank you for coming on the show.
No complaints.
Yeah. Living the life in Vegas, huh?
Yeah, we're working all damn day, 5 a.m. till 5 p.m.
Yeah, like the rest of us. How's
training clients in the gym all day long.
Yeah, I saw you got do a lot of personal training and stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty busy.
How's Vegas? How's Vegas since all the COVID stuff? You guys getting back to normal?
Oh yeah. What was it, about 2 weeks ago? The gym I go to, they just said no more masks.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the shot, you don't have to wear. They do the one thing where they say you have to wear the shot. I went and got the Johnson & Johnson. Had me sick for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've had a few friends of mine that have had. I haven't had it, but I had some friends that have had it, and they had the Johnson.
Yeah, people don't like it. I know people that ain't doing none of that, but I got asthma, man. I got asthma, sinus problems. I can't be messing around with that stuff. Once you have a good asthma attack, your whole I've had asthma since I was a little kid, so that's not how I don't want to go out now being able to breathe. I'd rather pick 100 other ways.
Yeah, because that stuff attacks the respiratory system and all that stuff.
Yeah, I already have asthma. I'm not messing around with that. I'm at high risk for it, so I was like, okay, let me just go get the shot and just deal with it that way.
Yeah. Oh, I don't
fault anyone. Everybody has their own opinion with that thing, so hey, do your thing.
Well, I think I'll eventually get it because I like to travel. I want to do some international traveling, and I know they're not going to let you do it without a shot. So
yeah, something they're going to make you get tested or get the shot.
Yeah, it's coming.
That's one of the reasons why I did it as well. I was like, man, you don't know what the hell they're really giving you, but hopefully they didn't give half the population some stuff that's going to kill them. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. So let's get to some of your highlights. The reason why I contacted you, man, I kind of specialize. I like talking to 80s and 90s bodybuilders, and I came across you, and what really fascinated me about you was you and I are the same height, 6'4". Of course, I don't have your weight when you competed. I'm hoping to bust 300 this year, but yeah.
I started lifting weights when I was 12, so that's why it was a little bit more. I could put that mass on, and the supplement wise, that stuff's going to be something really heavy for you. You got to do some real serious high. Well, I don't think I did as much as other people were doing because I'm still healthy right now at this point. But there was a lot of things I heard I was doing like a quarter of what other people were doing, but to me it was a lot. And then it's also the training. You got to make sure you wrap your knees. A lot of guys say, "Oh, you're tall, you don't need to wrap your knees. You should do ass to grass squats." And I'm like, no, my structure's not built for that. A lot of movements I had to modify for myself. I trained with Albert Beckles for about 2 years in LA. When I lived in LA, and he was my mentor. Albert helped me a lot because you had to know, like, for instance, I turned pro and I was having all these lower back problems. And
same here.
I never worked my lower back. I just never worked it. And Albert forced me to start doing hyperextensions with a 45-pound plate every day. All of a sudden, the back problems went away and my squats went up 100 pounds.
Wow.
I wasn't doing deadlifts because I just didn't like doing them. And then when I did do them, I only did them from the knee up, because anything lower than that, at that height, it's just dangerous. You're going to pull something, you're going to tear something. Yeah. You want to be, you don't want to be 60, still have your knees intact and your spine.
Yeah, I got a zipper on my knee to thank for that.
Yeah, I got modified. I had to modify a lot of things. I had a lot of good guys that were taller, like, certain people, a lot of other taller bodybuilders, they did admit, but mostly it was Albert. Albert Beckles, he really taught me a lot of different movements. He changed my movements around. He made me focus on building muscle a whole lot more, and I got a lot bigger to start training with. Because I was doing a lot of things wrong. My back wouldn't grow because my arms are so long. And with back movements, if you don't get that stretch on it, it ain't going to happen.
No.
And someone's got to actually stand there and kind of instruct you to show you, because once you feel it, then you'll know what you're looking for, and you got it. When you got longer arms, you better make sure you do it a certain way. But when it comes to legs, that was the hardest part. The squats with the leg extensions always first, get the knees warm, squats, leg press, everything with those insert powered up the knee wraps, man. And I still got my knees are intact. I feel good. My back doesn't even bother me at all, because I've learned how to, the older I get, I learn how to stretch. I have stretching.
Yeah.
Deep tissue massages and stretching. For everyone who's trying to grow, it's just not going to work without it. Especially at your height. If your height, I tell guys all the time, take a yoga class. It looks like I'm freaking nuts, but I'm like, dude, you do some of those stretches, I guarantee the injuries are going to dissipate, the pain's going to dissipate, a lot of things are going to change, and you'll grow. You can either do the deep tissue work or the yoga classes. Which one you want?
Yeah, I do the deep tissue, and you mentioned that, and I'm not going to hear the end of this now from my girlfriend about the yoga and stretching.
Well, it's either one. I mean, you got to do one or the other.
I always tell her no, though. I know when she watches.
Oh, yoga's freaking hard, dude. Yeah. No, hold on. Yeah. I'm not saying. What I'm saying is take like 1, maybe 3 classes. Okay, you take like 1 or 3 classes, and then after that, you find the poses and the moves and everything that's going to help you the most. Those are the things you do. Even some of the UFC fighters, some of the stretches they have are like freaking phenomenal. When I was competing, they didn't have none of that information. At least I couldn't find it. So, you know, there's all this information coming out because they got these guys that have PhDs that are just doing stretching and how to develop all the little fibers and tendons in your knee and all kinds of stuff. There's just so much stuff out there. It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. You know, with bodybuilders, if you really focus on with the supplementation plus that, you can get some real crazy results with a lot of that stuff. You can heal a lot of things.
Yeah. Now, when you were competing, you had to have been the tallest person on stage, especially at the Olympia.
Many times. The only person that I've really met, there's only a couple guys I've met. Tony's my height. Lou Frigno was taller than me.
Yeah, Louis 6'5", yeah.
Yeah, those guys taller than me, but most of the time I was always the biggest one there. I was always the tallest one there. The only person that ever made me feel small was Ronnie. I feel like a basketball player hanging out with Ronnie because he's so goddamn big. Yeah. Other than that, I was always the tallest one, always the heaviest one. You know, and that's one of the reasons why I hit like 41, 42. I just like, I'm done. Because it's just, I tore my shoulder. I tore my bicep, and I had to get my shoulder fixed, get everything reattached in there. And I'm 40-something years old, and big as I am, and it's not, you know, you can't just keep doing a lot of shows. The only guy I knew that Dexter was doing like show after show after show after show.
Oh yeah, Dexter's a machine.
He didn't. That guy was in shape all the time. He stayed like that. Me, it's another. I had to come down. I had to be in shape. I was good for about maybe 3, maybe 4 shows. After that, I had to stop. Yeah. Things started hurting.
You did the 07 Olympia. I think when we spoke on the phone, you said you were going to do another one when you got sick.
Oh yeah, I had planned on doing another Olympia, but I got real sick and I couldn't do it. Yeah. I qualified. I qualified like 3 or 4 times, 3 times. But I only went to 2. I never got past the top 15. When you're as tall as I was, and then I'm not as big as some of the other guys, they kind of put you in a category. Like, you know, they put you in the same category. Like when I did my first time I did the New York Pro, they just kind of just like, they already have their picks of guys they really want. Yeah. You know, and you just kind of get put into a category. You know, I'm in a category with Art Atwood and a couple of other guys that are really freaky looking and big, and you stay that, and that's where you're going to stay. Yeah. You know, prepared, you know, but that's the sport you choose. So it's the way and I could have, if I really wanted to, maybe I could have, you know, also gotten a lot bigger, you know, but my brain, you know, the last couple of when Nasser Al-Badi passed away, it kind of just.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites too, man. I love Nasser.
Yeah. One time I went to a guest post in Hawaiian bodybuilding show, and I got to hang out with Nasser a lot. We all went charter fishing. You know, we all went charter fishing, and I got to hang out with Nasser a lot. He's a very, very cool, very, very nice guy. You know, I got along with him very well, and from that point on, I've been friends with him ever since. And when Nasser passed, that kind of did something to me. Yeah, because I remember having a discussion with him backstage at the New York Pro that year, one of those years, and it was like he had won that show, and he had like a bandage on his shoulder because he had an abscess on his shoulder. And when he would walk away, the way people talked about him behind his back, I was just like, God damn, dude, this guy won this show. He won this show. And he won this show, and he's also done the Olympia. He's won the Arnold. He won the Arnold. I'm like, they're talking about him like because his career was really over. But Nasser, I sat him down. I said, dude, why don't you just stop, man? Why don't you stop? You speak several languages. You got degrees, dude. Just stop. Go do something else. He just couldn't stop. He just wanted to compete. He loved it. Yeah. But talking to him really changed the way I looked at a lot of things. I learned a lot, man, being around the guys that were ahead of me, the guys that were around me. I paid really close attention because I always knew in the back of my mind after I got that pro card, it ain't gonna last forever. It's gonna come to an end. Oh, sorry. Grandfather clock's going off. That's all right. It's all gonna come to an end someday, period. This is, you know, but the sad thing that really got me the most is when you come in like that and you go gangbusters. When it's over, dude, the people, everyone dogs you. Don't come in looking bad. Flex really told me something once. He says, never let them see you look bad ever. Don't let them take any pictures of you. Don't let anyone see anything of you if you don't look good.
Yeah, that's kind of, I think that was a Joe Weider saying, wasn't it?
I don't know, but I know Kenny's the one that told it to me. I was like,
yeah,
wow, okay.
I think that movie Bigger, Joe Weider said that, don't ever let anybody see you out of shape or anything like that.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Kenny might have had it from him. He told me that. You know, it's just one of those things you learn as you go along. I've seen saw a lot of good guys, saw a lot of good things. And I still got a lot of friends. I'm still tied to a lot of guys in the sport. I tend to stay away a little bit more because it's just, you know, once you spend 20 years watching shows, it gets to kind of makes your brain just go, okay, unless it's one of my clients, then I'll go.
Yeah.
And then I try to, no one's going to let me judge. Every time I try to judge, they won't let me. So I try to. The only time I get to do it, I get to test judge. Other than that, they won't let me do nothing else. You know, not in this state. So I just leave it alone and just stay to myself and do my thing.
Yeah. It says you were, IFBB has you listed as 310. Was that your stage weight, was 310?
2 or 3 times, yeah. Several, for like a couple of years I was. Either 310 or 305.
Wow. What was your off season?
No one believed it. I was like 320, 330.
Oh, so you stayed pretty lean off season.
Oh yeah, I didn't get fat until I stopped competing. No one believed it. I had to get on the scale to believe it. People didn't believe that I was that heavy.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, I've lifted weights since I was 12.
Let me pull your picture up here.
I've lifted weights since I was 12. That's when I won the USA's.
Right here?
No, the first one, that's the USA's picture. I was 275 there.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're a little leaner here.
Yeah, I was 275 there. Wow. That was probably right after the US. That's probably about right after the USA's. Yeah, that is the USA's.
Yeah, you're pretty heavy here.
I was about 310 there, 305. That was right before I did no, that was before the USA's as well.
Oh wow.
No, I'm sorry. That was before the Ironman Pro. Yeah,
here's your shows here. Yeah, Ironman. That's a 96. Wow.
Yeah, that's an Ironman Pro. Yeah, I remember that show. That was in 96, that picture?
No, it has your shows underneath it here. 96, 97, you did the Ironman.
That was an amateur.
Oh, okay.
Those are amateur, dude. Those are amateur.
California State, you got second. Yeah, California State, you got second. You got behind Rich Piana, right?
Yeah, I was angry about that one, dude.
Yeah.
And I was very angry about that because I don't think Rich beat me at that show. It's like apples and oranges. I was way harder than Rich was, but somebody wanted Rich to win, and that's what that was. But here's a story for you. Right after the show was over, what did I do? I walked to the side, and I took my trophy and I chucked it up into the rafters.
Really?
Oh yeah. They were going to suspend my ass for that. They were looking through the debris. There was a cat there at the gym. He's always at the gym and he works backstage. Real cool. Small, really thin black guy. He's older than me. And a lot of the guys treat him kind of funny because he's a little eccentric. And me, in my mind, I treat everybody good because that's just the way I am. I'm friendly with everybody because I'm big. Why not be nice to everybody? It's you get a whole lot better off with that. So he went the next day. I had to go to Muscle Beach and do a guest posing. And he shows up with my little plaque for my trophy. He's like, "Quincy, here." I was like, "Dude, what are you doing with this?" He's like, "Dude, I took it and I hid it because if they would have found it, they would have suspended you for 2 years."
Oh wow. Wow.
They would have suspended you for 2 years. That's how mad I was. Because here's a funny thing. Every time from that point on, every time I saw Rich, every time I saw him, he says, "Quincy, remember the time I beat you at the US Pro at the Cal?" Really? And I'd go, "Yeah, Rich, remember the time I turned pro and you didn't?"
I was gonna say he never went pro.
No. Me and Rich never really got along. I have no real love lost. They had no love for Rich Piana whatsoever. Never did. Yeah, there's guys in the sport that I have no love for whatsoever. There's some of those guys are really arrogant. They got a chip on their shoulder, and because I was bigger than they were, they would act a certain kind of way. I made them feel insecure or something.
Yeah. Because
I'm pretty friendly with everybody, but when you give me an attitude, I'm going to act a certain way right back towards you.
Yeah. I read somewhere that you were when you were a kid, you were 16 years old. You were pressing 1,000 pounds leg press.
Oh yeah. I started the weights when I was 12. I bench pressed 425 right before my 16th birthday at 15 years old.
Holy crap! And you were doing jujitsu and lifting that much weight?
When I was a kid. Wow. My high school football coach, Laney Littlefield, here in Las Vegas, would come because that's the time I went to a real gym. He'd drive around during the summers. He'd drive and pick us all up in his pickup truck, take us to Eiferman's gym. Joe Eiferman, he was like one of the top Mr. Universe competitors. He had a small little gym over here in Vegas off of Maryland Parkway. And coach took us over there every night during the summers. And that's how I got my first, I did it with him. We were in there bench pressing, and I did it with him. I just went to his funeral a couple of weeks back, and his son was telling me, remember that night? I said, yeah, I remember that night really well. I talk about it all the time. I was right before my 16th birthday, I bench pressed 425.
That is crazy. I think I've only hit that a couple times, and that was when I was powerlifting when I was in my 20s.
Yeah, but I was a little crazy, man. Come on. I grew up here in Vegas. I started lifting weights when I was 12. What else I have to do?
Yeah.
It's hot. It's hot. You go outside.
Yeah.
And one summer, I got so mad. Me and my mom were arguing. I had no dad. I'm angry. I got all this anger, got all this energy in me. I had those plastic dumbbells sitting in there, and there you go. That's all it took. I told myself, it was during the summer. I said, what I'm going to do for the rest of the summer, I'm just going to get up every day. I'm going to do 200 push-ups. No, 200 sit-ups, bench press and curl, and military press every day. I did it every day. I went back to school, and all the kids were like, dude, what the hell happened to you?
Yeah. What
the heck's going on with this? And from that point on, that was like throwing gasoline on me. There was a coach, there was a high school teacher there who was a bodybuilder. And he saw me, he's like, hey, he had me join a bodybuilding club with him, and I learned how to train with weights right there at Von Tobel Elementary School. He had a little weight room down there, and we straight trained with weights because we couldn't get into a gym because we were too young.
Right.
But once I started getting that, I had pictures of Muhammad Akabal on my wall, Lou Ferrigno. Come on, man, I watched Incredible Hulk as a kid. So when I got to meet Lou in real person, I got to talk to him, he actually speaks to me, it kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, I got along really well with him. A lot of guys don't, but I do.
Yeah, there's some mixed feelings out there about him. I mean, I only met him for like 5 minutes, so I can't. I can't.
Because of your height. Honestly, when you're tall, Lou's going to treat you a certain kind of way.
Yeah, I noticed he came up when he shook my hand when I saw him and all that. Yeah.
He can be a little bit abrasive, but that's just Lou. Because like one time I was talking to him, I said, I wish I could have a fifth of the career you had. He looked me right in my eye and he goes, because you'll never have that. See, now I don't know if Lou was saying to be mean or he said it because he wanted to motivate. But he might have been saying it to motivate me because that's how I want to think of it, because he'd always talk to me and tell me they've never seen nothing like that. You're big, you're tall, they don't know what to do with you, Quincy. He tells me things like that. So hell yeah, I love him. You know? I've had people tell me, "Who's a jerk?" I'm like, not to me.
Yeah. Well, every time I compete, I find the tallest person and I kind of gravitate towards them backstage, and that's usually who I hang out with.
So. You know, when you're tall like that, it's harder. Like I tried to tell when I was saying it one time, they were talking about. Well, it's harder when you're tall. They have the class for the smaller guys. They got the class for this. They give them special stuff. But when you're tall, they don't give a shit. They just treat you like you big old freak, and they just treat you that way. But the thing is that it's harder. Putting on 10 pounds on you compared to someone that's 5'5", someone that's shorter, it's just a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
A whole different ballgame. Your mechanics are totally different. You instead of you putting on 10, in order to look the same way, you got to put on 30 to look the same way.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, but you know, but people say, "Oh, you're just crying." Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm stating facts, but facts don't matter. It doesn't matter. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. So how was it? How was it growing up as a kid in Vegas?
That's nice. I couldn't complain. I grew up pretty rough. I spent a lot of time in projects and running around the streets. But put it this way, it's because of the element that I was around. The kind of element I was around. By the time I was 17, I'd seen 3 murders. Wow. You know, but I'm pretty sure I got the same story as 1,000 other guys.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that there's crime in Vegas, but nobody sees the real Vegas. You know what I'm saying? They see the strip and all the partying and all that other stuff.
Yeah, this is kind of like my one of my college roommates. He was a bodyguard for Dennis Robb, and he said, "I thought it was just one big street." So you told me it's just one big street, Quincy. That's all that's there. I'm like, dude, there's people that live there. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of people.
Yeah, there's houses and schools and all that.
Thousands of houses, man. There's people living there. There's neighborhoods. There's everything, dude.
Yeah.
We got the same thing. You got all those strippers got to live somewhere. Come on. People work in those hotels, man. They're making money. People come from all over the country to work here.
Yeah. I also read somewhere that you wanted to, you thought about going into law enforcement too.
Oh, I was a probation officer for the juvenile hall for 8 years.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah, I worked in Las Padrinas and Central Juvenile Hall for 8 years.
Juvenile probation, that's got to be rough.
It sucks.
Yeah.
The only good thing about it is that the kids, I still run into grown adult men that knew me then. And they were like, "I hated you." I said, "Well, you didn't go back, did you?" "No, I didn't go back." I said, because I told you you're going to come back. And by me telling you, I didn't even come back. You know,
you can make a big impact on somebody, especially somebody your size.
Yeah, I helped a lot of kids. I know for a fact I did help a lot of kids because I've had grown men that'll walk up to me and I don't recognize them. And they remember me and they told me that I did help them. I tell them the truth.
Yeah.
You know, back in the 90s, those gangs, man. Those gangs in LA, man, they weren't no joke.
Yeah.
Now I tried to, when I first moved back here, I did that job for like a year and I couldn't do it anymore because they're not criminals. It's all mental illness stuff now. There's like one unit with kids that are criminals and the rest are all mentally ill.
Oh yeah. That's your school shooters.
They're all mentally ill kids. And that's the main thing that's happening there. You know, most of the time it's not like it used to be. And you better not put your hand on none of them. And some of them, that's what they need.
Don't put your hand on them and don't take their phone away from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. I'm serious, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You're very right about that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's happened here in my town, but I know it's happened where moms and grandmothers have gotten stabbed and shot and stuff for taking their kids' phones away from them.
You know, you know what? I don't know. I sound like an old fogey, but I don't understand anymore. I get older and I'm getting older. So my brain's like, I believe you shouldn't just kid a kid for nothing, but man, some of these kids need somebody to go upside their head. You know, they don't have, I train a lot of young kids and they're weak. They can't take any real criticism.
Right.
And they're really don't have any confidence in themselves. The ones I get, but after they've been around me for a couple months, they're a whole nother animal. They're a whole nother animal because I'm going to change that. You can't send your kid. I counsel kids in juvenile hall. Don't send that kid around me because I'm gonna make sure that this kid learns something about, especially if it's a boy or a girl. I'm gonna make sure this kid learns something, and he's not gonna be acting like that. Because one of my prerequisites, I force feed them books. I don't care. I'm a force. Here, read this.
Yeah.
They don't read books on their own. What are you talking about? I said, did you read the book I told you to read? No. Like, why didn't you read the book I told you to read? And I stay on it. I said, that's part of the thing I want you to read this. You're not going to understand what's going on until you read this. You know, I when I got out of bodybuilding, I think since I stopped competing, I probably read over 400 books.
Wow.
Because when I was competing, I was so focused on stuff. And now, when I got done, I was kind of like, what am I doing with the rest of my life? Who am I? What am I doing? I defined myself by being this muscular guy. And I started dropping weight. I started dropping weight because I was like 340, 330, and I'm in the gym training. I started losing all this weight, and people are like, don't lose any more weight. Because in their mind, that's who and what I am, this huge guy.
That image they saw of you, yeah.
I'm a whole lot more than that. And I said, no, I don't want to be that anymore. I want to get smaller because it's health-wise, it's better for me. Right. I mean, you don't see guys in their 60s walking around 300 plus pounds. It doesn't happen. No. You got to be leaner. You got to worry about your insides more than your outside. You know, I get up, I jog. I'll run, walk about 3 miles a day. I try to do 3 miles. Yeah. You know, I haven't lifted weights in like 4 or 5 months now. I'll get a hair in my butt and want to lift weights, but I feel good and I can breathe. You know, and I haven't really lost any muscle. That's because also I didn't build it off the supplements. I built it from me lifting weights since I was 12. I didn't take anything until I was 22 years old. You know, I was lifting weights from the time I was 12 until I was 22. I didn't take anything. Yeah. When I hit about 22, 23 is when I started using subs.
Yeah. How many pro shows did you do?
Oh, man, I did. From the time I was 18, I did 2 to 3 shows every year until I was 40.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, until I was 40, 41, 42, and I stopped.
Wow. So you did a lot of the ones overseas and stuff, right?
Shows for 10 years. And then the last 10 was me competing as a pro. And I always did a show every year. I did 1 show a year, every year.
What was your last show?
2 or 3. The last show I did was the Arizona Pro. The Phoenix Pro, sorry. Phoenix Pro, yeah.
Phoenix Pro.
And I came in and I didn't look good. I flattened out the night before. And you know what it was? My heart wasn't in it. I was in the gym, like after that show was over, and I'm like 310, I'm huge. I'm in there doing dumbbell curls with like 50 pounds, right? And I said to myself, why am I doing this? You're not going to compete any more shows. Let's say you're not competing. Because it got to a place where you get sponsorship. If I got sponsorships, I keep going. But I was in the gym lifting weights, and this was after my shoulder surgery. And I had told myself during my shoulder surgery, but I was so programmed to do this, get up and go train every day, I just kept going. You know, then I clicked in my head. I was like, wait a minute, what are you doing? You don't want to be this big anymore. I thought you said you're stopping. If you're not going to compete, you're not going to be in a show. Don't do. Now, the only thing I want to keep now is keep my stomach flat. You got to put yourself in perspective, because someday it's going to come to an end, and you can't keep training the same way. You can't be 40, 50, 60 years old, big as hell. You know, I see guys, you know how many guys I've met, old bodybuilders who probably, some of them are pro, some are amateur, and they're having this, what's it called? Neurological thing where their muscles are just dissipating. The muscles just they lose like 60 pounds. Like they holes of muscle, just pockets of muscle just gone. They didn't tear it. They didn't tear it. It's just the muscle just like said, fuck you, I'm leaving.
Yeah. That's crazy.
What is it? They don't know, no one knows what it is. I'm sitting there going, whoa, damn, that don't sound good. But then when you think about it, when you're pushing your body the way we do, and you get that damn big, and you get past, I think it's all age related. I mean, some people can do it. Don't get me wrong. Some people can do it. I think a lot of guys, there's a few guys that can just keep going past a certain age and stay that way. But I think once you get past a certain age, if you're young, your body can sustain that. It's healthy for you. It's not bad for you. When you get past a certain age, I don't think it's good for you to stay huge like that. You know, and I think your body will tell you after a while, or it'll force you. And
you said you were 42, you said, when you retired? So you were at Phoenix?
41, I think.
41.
42, yeah.
Do you think with I mean, because that was, what year was that? How long ago was that?
2008, 2010.
So we're a little bit more in the future.
About a good 7-8 years of competing as a pro.
Do you think today, if you were 41, 42, you still would have the same mindset as a retiring, or do you think you would go a little longer the way bodybuilding is now?
I would have stopped faster, probably.
You would have?
I got tired of taking off drugs, man.
Yeah.
I got tired of it. I just got tired. And I wasn't willing to do what other people were doing. Like I said, when I found out what some of the other cats were doing that were coming in behind me, the dosages, I said, I'm not doing that. The other stuff already had me climbing the fucking walls. I had to smoke a whole lot of grass to keep from slapping people. Yeah. There wasn't a day that went by that I didn't feel like slapping a motherfucker. Yeah. I was like, there's a chance. You can't walk around with that, like, and just.
Yeah. Maybe that's why Arnold did it so much. Keep him calm.
Yeah, that marijuana calms down. But the doses these cats are doing now, they're not doing marijuana. They're doing like freaking Nubain, ketamine. They're doing some of the mental medications to calm them down now.
Yeah.
That's what people do now. You get to take. Come on, man. You taking that much test? Come on, man. You know what it's going to do to you. That's how you walk around amped up like a freaking nutcase. And I feel like there were days when I look back and I feel like freaking Superman. Literally Superman. Literally, I feel like Superman. Felt freaking wonderful.
Yeah.
I would never tell anyone don't do it. What I'm saying is, when it comes time to stop, pay attention and stop.
Yeah. You know Ian Harrison, right? He competed around your time.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. He's a friend of mine. He's been on the show a couple of times, and that's the reason why he got out. He said he got tired. He went to too many funerals. He said he couldn't do it anymore. Yep,
that's what happens. When that Nubain came out, I went to 2 funerals. I just got tired, man. There's a guy named Curtis. I remember Curtis, a guy from the Goes in Venice. He had a heart problem. He's still in there doing it. Still in there. He's huge. He just disappeared.
Yeah, well, we were talking about Nasser. He kept doing it, I know.
Jeep Swanson. Jeep told me Jeep Swanson he was in the Venice. He played in that movie Bane. He played Bane in the movie with Arnold.
Oh yeah, the Batman.
Yeah. Jeep had the biggest arms in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's huge.
Yeah.
I know one time I'm in the gym with Jeep. One time I was in the gym with Jeep, and he had on the Smith machine 2 45s on each side. He was curling that shit. I saw that. I just left. I went home. I was like, I'm done.
It's like you throw your hands in the air, man.
He's like, dude, what am I do with that, dude? This is looking at doing 2 45s on each side. He's doing fucking bench press waiting for his curls, man. He's had the biggest arms I've ever seen. He didn't make it. His heart was enlarged. He died. He's gone. Guys don't be. That's what my brain. And I knew that in the back of my mind. And then after NASA, I kind of just like, I'm going. Then my shoulder was in that sling. And I was like, I'm going to go sit down. I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Why are you stopping? Why you keep going? I'm like, no, I'm good. Come on, man. I started when I was 12 lifting weights. I didn't stop till I was 41, 42.
30 years. It's a long time.
I need a break. I got to stop for 1 second. Can we pause it for 1 second? We got to keep going.
Yeah, no, I can edit it out.
Okay, cool. Brady, we go outside and turn that food off outside on the grill. I know it's done by now. Hopefully I didn't burn it. You grab one of those bowls and put it in the I'm grilling everything right now. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah. No, I can cut this out. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
Hey, that's character. Maybe I'll leave it.
I had to cook. When you called me, I had just finished training clients. Went to Costco and started cooking. I haven't ate since this morning, so I got chicken on the smoker outside. And I gotta get that chicken out before it burns. I had to make fish and chicken because I had nothing. Go around that way.
Hey, I can't give the life of Quincy Taylor without telling everybody how you cook and what you cook.
Chicken. I got chicken out there in the whole bass. Did you turn the one off in the oven too? Turn it off. Yeah, I had to put that food on, dude, because I know after we're done, I have nothing to eat. I had no protein in the house. So I was like, let me go store. Freaking all the prices have gone up on everything.
Oh man, everything. I'm the same way, bro. After these shows, I'm starving. I go eat right away.
Yeah, I apologize. I had to do that.
Nah, that's fine.
Yeah. No, we can go ahead and keep going now.
All right, go ahead, man. Hey, you it says that one of your biggest motivations was Sean Ray, huh?
Yeah, you know what it was? Well, the first time I did my roommate in college did a bodybuilding show with Lonnie Teeper. I was at Cal State Los Angeles. Lonnie Teeper had a bodybuilding show that he put on there every year. And my roommate in college taught me to go on the show. I'd never been to a show before. I lifted weights in college. I was a shot putter, and I ran the 200, 400, and I was shot putter, discus, and hammer thrower. And so I'm out there doing this stuff. And then my buddy James Bivens, he's a trainer in Florida.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's my college roommate for like 4 or 5 years. James had competed in the show. I went to watch the show. And I watched the show, and Tanya Knight was the guest poser, and Sean Ray was the guest poser. And after I saw Sean guest pose, it just blew. He's like a freaking baby elephant up there. He's so freaking huge. I've never seen anything like that in person. It just blew my mind. And the year after that, I did that exact same show, and I won it. Then I did the Orange County, and I just kept. I never stopped competing from that day forward.
Yeah,
I didn't stop competing from that day forward. I just kept going and going and going. I never stopped.
Yeah, I think Sean kind of took the same mentality too. I don't think he lifts much anymore. He does much. I mean, I know he's still involved in the industry, which is good. But
yeah, I did leave when I stopped competing. I started doing security work. I worked for I worked for a dispensary. I worked in clubs, and I did pretty well with that stuff. But I don't know. The only place I get treated like I'm anyone special is the gym and bodybuilding and training people. And then training people actually brings a lot of fulfillment for me because I actually like, especially with the young people and the elderly people, I've been told that I'm a really good person to talk to when they have problems with things, because I did counsel people for years, counsel kids for years. So it's easy for me to talk to people and deal with people and talk them up and make them get their mind set up the way I want to do, if they really want to do it. I have a lot of people in their 40s, a lot of women, a lot of older men that I train. That's all I do. But I like to train the young people, because to take a kid who's like, I have over 15 young guys I trained back when I was in Texas, different parts of the country, when they were younger. They were like teenagers. Now they're grown adult men, and they still contact me, still call me, because I've been friends with them. Now I help them. Like one time I had a kid, his mom, I trained him, and his mom's like, I don't know what's going on with him. You got to talk to him. I don't know what's his problem. So I got to talking to him. He don't have no dad, so his mom don't know what to do with the kid, and he's just like, he's freaking out. And his girlfriend broke up with him. And I was like, so your girlfriend broke up? That's the first time you had a girl break up. No, that was the first girl he'd ever had a relations with. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I got to talking to him, and I was like, he was heartbroken. He was really heartbroken. Yeah. And I told the kid, I think that's the last girl? That's the first. Are you gonna let her be? Are you just gonna lay down? You gonna let her win? I said, you want to make her feel bad? Really want to make her feel bad? Make yourself look better. Make yourself a better man. You want her to look back 20 years from now and look at you in 20 years, and you're a whole other animal. I wish to God she could stay with you. I said, don't ever look back thinking that way. You want to make people feel. People told me I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that, I couldn't do this. You can't go here, you can't do that. Yeah. And you wind up doing it. They sit there looking to like you're silly, while they're sitting there doing the same thing they've been doing. You can do whatever you want to do. Don't let that one thing define you. There's going to be a whole lot. I said, you're young. You got a whole lot more things, and a whole lot more women, a whole lot more experiences in front of you. Enjoy life. And his mom's like, what'd you say to him? Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
He just needed some testosterone. Some guy talked to him a little bit. You know, he needed that male perspective. That's all he needed.
Yeah. Well, how many times were you told that you were too tall for bodybuilding?
Man, shit. Ron Harris told me that one time. He's a writer for one of the magazines, and Ron's still a writer. He's built pretty well. Back then, you don't really have the structure, Quincy. You don't really have the structure. I was like,
don't have the structure. He's like, I'll show you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the worst thing to tell me, dude, because back then, that was fuel for me. You tell me something like that, oh, okay. They told me I couldn't go to college. It's like, you go to college where? Doing what? You go to Long Beach? Why don't you go to here? And I'm like, I'm not going. I'm going over here.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do that. Yeah, I can do whatever I want to do. Never let someone else tell you what your life's going to be like. No one's going to tell me anything. And I've done it my whole entire life. I didn't know what I was going to do after I got into bodybuilding. And people were telling me you should just keep competing, doing this. I'm like, and I did what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
There's always this place for everyone. There's always something that you can do.
You played football too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually liked football.
Yeah. I was say, how come you never pursued that?
When I was 16, when I was 17, I was an arrogant ass.
Yeah.
Man, I was benching 425. I was big as hell. I liked to fight. And I had no father around, no dad around. And, you know, after football season was over, there was 2 or 3 of the coaches that I respected. No, about 4 of them. A lot of the other ones I called from football seasons up, they were on a first name basis as far as I was concerned. You're not supposed to call the coach by first name.
No.
What are we going to beat me up? What are we going to do to me?
No.
I don't have to fight back. I can fight really well back then. So my brain was just like, eh. And I was pretty wild. And all I wanted to do was go to college. I wanted the easiest route to leave here and not wind up working in a hotel. Football sounded great, looked great, but at the same time, the offers that I got were to places I didn't want to go. You know, I could have walked on at Long Beach City College and played, but once I got involved in the track and field program there and I started throwing the shot, I did that for a good 2 years of junior college and I loved it. Ron Alice was the head coach there at Long Beach City College and he was fantastic. He treated us good. He took care of us. I went to Cal State LA within a year. I quit track because the coach was horrible. You know, he literally called us horses.
Wow.
He literally called us horses. I got a friend of mine, Kevin Apsher. He threw the discus in the NCAAs. Freaking fantastic discus thrower, Kevin. Kevin was starving like Marvin. He was so hungry he couldn't. He had no food. He was getting ready for this show, getting ready for this track meet. I quit track and started working, just paying my way through school, get financial aid, just kept on school. Then finally, my little head got me in more trouble than my big head was, and I wanted with my kid coming, and I said, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna go get a job. I went and got a job in the probation department. And that was that.
Yeah.
Now
with your jiu-jitsu and your wrestling, you like to fight and all that stuff. This was what, late 80s, early 90s when you were in high school? I graduated
high school in 87.
So
all throughout the 80s.
MMA really hadn't hit the scene yet.
Oh no,
not that good.
If they would have had MMA back then,
I was going to ask you that.
I would have wound up doing that.
Yeah.
Because the way I was back then, as I got older, I've mellowed out a lot. And I'm not even remotely like that anymore. I avoid fights. I walk away from everything now. But back then, I would have enjoyed that very much.
Yeah, with your size and height, you probably would have done pretty well.
I would have enjoyed that very much. But they didn't have nothing like that back then. You know, and then I look back and go, there's a lot of 1,000 other things I could have did. But honestly, once I saw that first bodybuilder, I was already lifting weights like a bodybuilder. I was already reading the magazines. I was already doing all those things. But once I saw Sean on stage and I saw it live in person, it was done, dude. That was like the book was closed. I'm done. No one could have deterred me from going to the gym and lifting weights like that. I was on a path and I wasn't stopping.
Yeah.
You know, it took me 10 years to get pro card, almost 9 or 10 years to get the pro card. Nothing was going to deter me from that. And I had a lot of things that could have deterred me.
Yeah.
You know, I moved to Venice Beach with nothing. I had my job. I saved up my money. Me and my ex split up. I slept on the car. You know, I slept in my car for 2 weeks until I got the apartment. I got my first paycheck when I got my apartment in Venice. And after that, I was at Venice Beach training. I could have went home. You know, I could have went home to my mom. But I was like, nah, I'm good. I got myself in this. I'm getting myself out. So I just kept working at my job and did what I was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Kept training, kept doing my thing.
I was looking for. I wanted to talk about your little role in the movie you were in.
Oh,
Be Cool.
Be Cool was excellent. I did Planet of the Apes. I did Planet of the Apes full on makeup, mask, the whole nine. One with Mark Wahlberg. We did that. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that film. I made some good money on that.
How did you get approached for all that stuff? I can't pull it up.
I was in Venice. I was in Venice in California, and then my ex-wife was like, "You need to go and do this. You need to go do this," because she was working as a waitress. She was like, "Quincy, you really should go do this stuff. You should go put in, get your." So I said, "Okay." She talks me into going. He gets an agent for me, Kazarian Spencer. I go to Kazarian Spencer. All they did, they sent me on casting calls for commercials. I did a Dasani water commercial with Rich Piano.
Oh, I'm sure that was wonderful.
On Venice Beach with Earth, Wind, and Fire. It was really good commercial. I did that. I did a McDonald's commercial with Abbas Katami. And then I did what else? I did a Subway commercial playing like a football player at the park.
Mm-hmm.
I did a Chevy commercial posing as a bodybuilder. I did a California Energy doing this pose with a little kid on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of commercials, and then from the commercials, I started getting calls for movie work, and I got called into a movie work because they wanted bodybuilders. And then I got into Be Cool because the guy in the gym, Gary F. Gray, the director for Be Cool, sent a talent agency to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he sent someone to the gym, and they came up to the counter, and every time the guys at the counter, the managers at Goals really treated me well because I was respectful. I knew how to talk, and I'm going to do what they tell me to do, and I'm not going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. And I don't got a gigantic chip on my shoulder like most bodybuilders. I'm walking around and talk to everyone. I'm trying to be friendly. Mm-hmm. You know, this is the way I am. So they hooked me up, and the talent agent called me, and I got the movie job, and I got the same thing with I just went on auditions. See, back then it's a little different, you know. It's not like they're going to make play Othello anytime soon, you know. But because of that, and I took a few acting lessons, and then after that, I started doing commercials and movies and made some good money off of that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't complain about it. I enjoyed every minute of it, man. I enjoyed being doing those films. It was a lot of fun doing those.
What did average commercial pay back then?
Well, it depends. If you get like local, some of them are local. If you get a nationwide commercial, you could make anywhere between, depending on how popular it is, you can make 20 to 100 grand, depending on how much they show it. Every time they show it, you're getting paid. Every time they show it, you're getting paid.
I wonder if this will play.
Oh yeah, the Dub and D's. You got to punch in Dub and D's.
Dub and D's?
The Dub and D's. Be Cool, Dub and D's.
Let's see if this plays. Just say
here. Yeah, I'm in that scene right there. Yeah, that's the first scene we shot that day.
Yeah.
Huh. That's the first scene we shot that day.
There's a lot of actors in that.
Oh yeah. They made a big deal out of me smiling.
Yeah, they
are. I smiled when the other guys came in and took their guns. I did it my own. That was me, my own personality. And the director Gary thought it was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of fun on that film, man. That was a lot of fun. Everyone there was very, very cool. There was not one person that I worked with in that film that wasn't a great person. From Danny DeVito to every last person that I met on that film, I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Every last person. Now, Planet Apes is a little different. Michael Clark Duncan was not a nice guy.
No.
And neither was Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I was going to ask, because Mark's a big bodybuilding fan.
Mark was not. He was not, dude. If you even spoke to Mark, you might get fired.
Really?
I don't know if maybe he's changed now, but back then, nah, dude. Mm. You could tell him he could do great. I watched. Leave him alone. Don't talk to him. Don't say nothing. He wasn't very friendly to me. Now, John Travolta was salt of the earth, man.
Mm-hmm. He lives here. He lives in my town.
Oh, John Travolta's salt of the earth, dude. I saw
he's
John
a good guy.
go out. He's a very good guy. I saw John go out at 3 a.m. in the morning giving out autographs. 3 a.m. in the morning signing autographs. Mm-hmm. The first time I met him, he was sitting there talking. I'm looking at his face. I'm like, God damn, Saturday Night Live. It kind of blew my mind, man. I'm actually sitting there talking to him like, this is crazy. He's a great guy. Yeah. Everyone in that film I liked. Cedric the Entertainer, everyone that filmed my life. The Rock was the coolest.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I knew him because he came to the gym all the time and he knew my name. And it freaks my kids out when I see Batista or John Cena or any of those guys, and they're like, Dad, those guys know who you are. I'm like, yeah. I'm a bodybuilder. Most of those guys, they came to Venice to be bodybuilders. They started off to be bodybuilders. And they branched off into other things because it was more profitable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I said The Rock knew who I was because Dad was a pro bodybuilder. So yeah, he knew more exactly. I see him in the gym all the time. He's a solid Europe as well. Always kind, always cool. He gave me a picture one time at the firehouse just because I asked him. He actually mailed it to me. Mm-hmm. He actually mailed it to me. And I was like, dude, he actually sent this thing to me. He sent me the picture. I gave it to my son. He's a good person. Mm-hmm. The good thing about me living over there all those years is I got to meet so many people. There's a lot of people I met that I like, and some of them I don't.
Yeah.
I know I say things about people that have passed away, and I shouldn't, but it's like, I can't help it. Like, people love Kobe. I couldn't stand Kobe Bryant. I couldn't stand him. I talked to Kobe. I used to try to get people to come to the juvenile hall and talk to the kids. Mm-hmm. I walk up to him and say, hey, I'm just trying to get somebody to come in on a Saturday and talk to some kids. He wouldn't even acknowledge my existence. I'm a 300-pound gorilla standing here in front of him, and he won't even talk to you. You're not even there as far as he's concerned. Mm-hmm. You're not good enough for him to even speak to. Well, Shaq, on the other hand, would say, hey, man, you know what? I wish I could. I don't really have time. Okay. Mm-hmm. But don't not acknowledge me.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah. There's a lot out there. And I've learned since I started this podcast, I've reached out to a lot of guys. And some of them aren't really huge celebrities, but they'll ignore you, because it shows where they've seen it and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, at least tell me you're busy or something like that.
The least you can do is say, you know what, dude, I can't. I'm sorry. Like me, but don't not acknowledge me.
Yeah.
That's bad, dude. It's like, at least send me a text message or email saying you can't or something, do something. But damn, don't not acknowledge it. That's worse when you do that, because you basically, there's something about that narcissistic, entitled way of just being like, oh, I don't care about, that. It took all the strength I had that day not to say something to him really crazy and want to go upside his head. Mm-hmm. It took all the strength I had that day to not to say something really crazy to him. Like I said, as I got older, when I stopped competing, I started meditating a lot more. Mm-hmm. I mean, I spent years meditating, so I don't let things get me that angry anymore. But back when I was younger, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like, anger's a poison and it messes with you, so I don't let things get me mad like that no more. But back then, you couldn't have told me that.
Yeah. But bro, when I messaged you, it didn't take long. You sent me your phone number. Here, call me. Right away. Yeah, man, it was great. I really appreciate it.
I'm still amazed anybody wants to talk to me.
Oh man, come on. I tell you, the best thing I can say about this podcast since I've started it is I have all these 80s and 90s bodybuilders' phone numbers. That's like the most amazing thing.
Oh, you can hit up and ask questions, dude, because I'll tell you.
Yeah.
They can ask questions, because that's what usually I'm like one of the younger bodybuilders I trained at the gym. He's like, dude, you're like a freaking encyclopedia of information. I'm like, I can't help it. It's just, I read a lot of Lonnie Teeper. I never forget Lonnie Teeper. He was my professor in college, and I'm sitting in there. He gave me a job in the weight room. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting in the weight room, and Lonnie's like, he gave me a job, and he's like, damn. He says, every time I come in there, this kid's reading books. He's reading all these books. And he comes over there and he's talking to me, and he looks at the books. They were all steroid books.
Oh, jeez.
He tells people this story. He's like, I thought this kid was just a great student. I thought you were reading the student books. You're writing steroid books in school. Like, dude, come on, man. I want to know what I'm doing. Huh. I mean, this is what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in the school. The school stuff, I just go listen to the lecture. Mm-hmm. I'll pass the class just listening. But this stuff right here, I really need to learn. Can't be messing around with your kidneys and your liver and your heart and not knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's true.
And don't read a magazine, read a book.
Mm-hmm. Well, back when you started, that stuff was legal, wasn't it?
No. It was never legal.
No,
but before,
that must have been the
early 80s. In the early 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys would go down to Mexico and get whatever they wanted. No one really cared if they brought it back or whatever. No one cared. It wasn't until people started making lots of money off of Uncle Sam's, like everything else. It's okay as long as no one's making money. When people start making a lot of money, where's my cut? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just changed. A lot of things have changed. Like there's a lot of supplements, like Equipoise is one of the ones that cracks me up. No one knows what it is now. A lot of younger guys, they don't know what they all know about trend, but they don't know about that. And I remember back then that drug wasn't even around. And things have really changed to the point. And then these kids are doing crazy dosages, and it just blows my mind. I'm like, dude, who told you to take that much? And it's like, well, this. I'm like, dude, stop. You're gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So-and-so does this. You're not him. I had a kid doing what was he? He saw Kai doing these squats with a dumbbell in his hand or something really heavy. I'm like, he tore his back up like crazy. I'm like, dude, why are you doing? Well, so I'm like, dude, you're not him. Mm-hmm. That guy's probably been lifting weights for 10 years, longer than you ever have. We can't do the same things he does.
Yeah. And that's
something I like about the YouTube thing is that they put that stuff out there. These kids are, no, dude, you get someone to train you. You don't know what you're doing.
No, yeah, I know. There's guys out there with these shows that are talking about it, no idea what they're talking about. And I'm not going to mention any names, but that's one of the things I like about doing this show is guys like you and the freaks from the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that, and the 2000s. And, you know, they say there are other alternatives. You know, it's not worth it. You know, that's what it all boils down to. It's not worth it.
Let me put it this way. I didn't take anything until I was 22. Mm-hmm. I had already I was already squatting 315 20 times before I took anything. Mm-hmm. I was squatting 5 plates 8 times, 5 to 6 times before I took anything. Mm-hmm. I was bench pressing 315 like when I was 16, 17, I was bench pressing 315 like it was nothing before I took anything. I didn't take it until I was 22. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these younger cats, they come in, they right off the top. I'm like, dude, why don't you try to get your body to be as natural as possible and go as far as you can with that? Especially if you haven't even hit 20 yet. If you're young, well, anywhere under 20, why don't you let your body fucking grow into this stuff a little bit more? Let's just train.
Yeah.
Build that foundation on let's put down some cement, some piping, some wood before you build that house, man.
Yeah. And because when they come off of it eventually, they're going to go back to what they look like. And if they have no foundation, then they're going to look like.
And it's going to mess with their head. It's going to mess with your head, mm-hmm. and it's going to make you feel like garbage. And you're not going to be happy with yourself. Don't do that to yourself. And no one listens. You know, the kids say, you know, and a lot of times I keep my mouth shut because, like I said, I've learned you can't tell them that. They don't want to hear that. They get angry. They'll get angry at you. It didn't happen. It's happened to you. It didn't happen to me. But okay. So I just keep my mouth shut. Now, once I'm training them and they're working with me, I'll let them have it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, if you come up to me asking, then I'm gonna have to tell you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah. You know, because does the cost outweigh the gain? Yeah, it is worth it in some way. I cannot stress enough that I'm not trying to say it's bad, because the first time you step on stage at a show like the Arnold, and you hit a pose and the bulbs go off, it's worth it.
Yeah.
When you win, when I won that Mr. USA and I turned pro, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Those are some of the most amazing highs, besides my kids being born, you know, things like that you could have in life.
Yeah. I guess if you've made the decision, if you've set in mind that I'm going to be on the Arnold stage or I'm going to be on the Olympia stage, I guess those are the decisions you're going to have to make. You know, obviously there's going to be consequences, but
there's going to be some sacrifice. Dude,
you're a grown man, but there's legal and health situations you're going to have to.
Yeah, you're throwing the dice a little bit, but then come on. At the same time, you can walk outside and get hit by a bus. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that, you know, as you get older, those odds aren't as high as they were. The older you get, once you get over 40, you got to start paying attention, man.
Yeah.
When you're in your 30s, you can get rid of all that shit.
Yeah.
When you get in your early 40s and you're healthy and your heart's good, yeah, go for it. Mm-hmm. I got friends of mine that, you know, guys that they've been doing it for years and they still want to get that pro card. And then all of a sudden, I got a buddy of mine about 3 or 4 years ago, he's hardcore. The guy's got a beautiful physique. He's got a beautiful body. He's a good-looking guy. And he, 40-something years old, wanted to compete. And I told him, I said, you sure you want to do this? Sure you want to do this? And I helped him. A year later, he's got kidney failure. He's got high blood pressure, so he's got kidney failure. Now he's on dialysis. Now he's got new kidneys, and he looks like a whole different animal. Now he has no choice. He stays on diet and lean all year long now. But what's his life expectancy now? I'm like, dude, was it really? And let's say it might not even have been that. It could have just been the fact that that's just in the cards for him.
Could have been
that. You know, people say it's this because you did this, you did that. No. You got guys like look at Arnold, look at Louis. They're walking around here like ain't nothing wrong. And you think they do subs? Yeah, they did. but they're walking around healthy. Look at Albert's like almost 90. You know, but it's also that self-accountability, getting your blood work did, checking yourself, and at the same damn time, if your cholesterol's high, maybe you need to stop eating red meat. If you got pre-diabetes, maybe you need to stop eating carbs for a while and start really watching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's self-accountability. Use that bodybuilder mentality to make yourself healthy.
Yeah.
But a lot of cats, they get older, they just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. I'm a big advocate on all that stuff, especially on these shows, because I tell everybody in every show, get your blood work done every 6 months. And I have a doctor that comes on with me and we talk about diets and supplements and all that stuff. And and
you got to even watch the supplements, like with the regular stuff over the counter. I mean,
some of that stuff, it can screw you up.
It's the drugs are safer. You know, and I hate to say that because I like a lot of those products, but like I got 2 doctors that I train, and they tell me, cats come in, they're taking all their fucking pre-workout stuff, and they're messed up. It's hurting them. Their kidneys are off. This and that's going on there, but they're doing the dose that's recommended. I tell my clients all the time, the dose that's on that packaging, do a quarter of that to start to see how you feel first, man.
Especially pre-workout, a good pre-workout.
Yeah, that's how you freaking wired up like crazy. I said, well, Quincy, why you tell me just drink coffee? Just get you some coffee first, man. Don't buy that. Just use the coffee. Coffee's gonna do the same thing. Yeah, don't get me wrong. If some of that stuff is off the chain, it does work. I'm not gonna ever knock it because I've seen products work, but some of it's like, nah, dude, don't. And it's also like I said, it's like everything else. They do too much for too long. Yeah. Too much for too long. And it causes a real problem. You know, I've been around for a long time and I've learned, you know. Yeah. I try to keep my mouth shut, but when I'm in an interview, I'm going to talk.
No, hey man, I tell everybody, hey, this is your hour, so
I'm going to talk.
Whatever you want to talk about. This is, you know.
The one thing that blows my mind the most right now that I see in the kids in the gym, they're all deadlifting, they're all squatting all the way to the bottom, and I watch these kids do this, and I'm just like, you're gonna like, I know 3 off the top of my head. They're deadlifting all this weight. They want to pull all this weight because it's a male ego thing, right? Yeah. And they want serious back problems. Or the squatting all the way down. I'm like, dude, if you're a power lifter and you got technique down and you're really good at this and you've actually gotten trained how to do it, hey, by all means, knock yourself out. Yeah. I get it. Then, but some kid that sees this on some video and he's doing it and he's gonna hurt his spine. Yeah. And I've watched it. I've seen it. Those are the 2 things I've seen in the gym so much. I'm just sitting like, man, what are you doing? And I don't say anything. I just keep my mouth shut and just watch. Yeah. And just watch because I'm like, dude, don't say that. Because if you try to tell them, they're gonna get mad at you, man. You better not open your mouth. Who the hell are you? I've actually had a guy one time in the gym tell me, who the hell's that guy? He's nobody. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I looked right as I said, you're absolutely right. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a guy in the gym. Just a
nobody. Yeah, just nobody.
I don't know anybody. I don't know anything. I'm just a nobody, just like you. I'm just like you. And walked away. You know, 2 days later, the other guys that told him, that guy knows what the hell he's talking about. What are you talking about, dude? When other guys told him, that guy did this, this, and this, and he pulled up my stuff on his phone. He's like, oh, from that point on, he treated me totally different.
Oh, shit.
But I'm not going to say nothing. Yeah. Why would I do that?
What was your heaviest squat?
600.
Oh, wow.
I've done 600 pounds 5 times.
And that's about 900 for a normal height guy.
I would be too afraid to try 900. Yeah.
Is that what Ronnie did when he screwed his back up? I think it was 900.
No, Ronnie, you know what, dude? I think Ronnie's back was screwed up long before. Ronnie had told me when I saw him, we were in New York. We were in New York for the Nationals. We were in New York, and I remember Ronnie telling me his back had been messed up long before that. And he had taken ibuprofen for like a year straight.
Yeah, football or something, maybe.
Messed up a long time before that. And I think all the deadlifting, all the other stuff, just
aggravated it. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, once you injure that, like I got sciatic nerve problems, and that's why I wouldn't do certain things. You know, I didn't deadlift a lot because I had sciatic nerve problems. And I'm not going to make it worse. I mean, come on, man. The back pain's it's like freaking a nightmare. And I can imagine having back pain like that. And Ronnie's in there doing deadlifts with 800 goddamn pounds, man. It's like insanity. Yeah. And I watched him train. I've been in that gym when he trained, dude. And it's like, nah. I know for a fact that the line, who was it? I think it was Chris Cormier. He said, yeah, Ronnie, he trained with Ronnie once. He felt like he'd been in a fight with a guy with bats, something like that. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
He trained a certain dude. He was on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Nother level. That's why his body look like that.
What about Jay? You running him ever there anywhere?
Oh, Jay's cool, man.
Yeah.
Jay's a good guy. He's one of the best guys. I like Jay more than I like almost half the other pros, dude. Jay's really cool. He's always cordial. He's just a good person. You can see it in his face when he talks to you.
Yeah. Well, he was the champ when you were competing, right? Was he?
Oh, yeah. And Jay was, and by far, okay, here's an example. Jay Cutler you're at the Olympia. Jay's getting ready to win. He'll walk around Olympia and shake everyone's hand and tell them thank you for competing.
Yeah.
That's the kind of champion he was.
That's your true champion there, yeah.
And that's the reason why I like him so much. He walked around shaking everyone's hand. That's the kind of guy he was.
Yeah. Did you ever train with him?
No. I've been in the gym with him, though, talking to him, training with him, but I never trained with him.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, you know. I tried it once when I was an amateur, asked Paul to let me train with him, and he just looked at me and laughed. And so from that point on, I never asked anyone ever again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's back when I was an amateur, and he just looked at me and kind of laughed.
Yeah. So what do you think? You think your best Olympia was 07? Do you think let me ask you this. Do you think 07 was your best Olympia, and do you think you should have at least placed higher?
That one there, but the only time I ever felt like I really kind of just missed my window was that Europa Pro show when Tony beat me. When Tony beat me at that show, and I was shredded. Tony's back was wider than mine, but I was way more conditioned than he was.
Yeah.
That's the only show that I did, and then I'm like, yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's countless other ones, but they don't give you the chance to even get next to anybody. How are you supposed to know?
Yeah.
I can't even get mad. You know what, dude? I'm a kid from the projects, grew up in Las Vegas, and I got to see the whole world. I've been all over the place, lifting weights. Really, basically, get down to it, lifting weights. I've been able to do a lot of things a lot of people never. I've been in movies, commercials. I've done all kinds of stuff from lifting weights. So I can't cry. You know? Yeah, I don't like the places I got, but the only person who left the place they got is the guy who won. You know, there's politics involved, but man, you show me where there's not politics, and that's where you some BS. Anytime it's a judge sport, you can't knock the guy out. There's politics involved. You know? But one thing's for sure, if you're head and tails, but like Albert Beckers told me once, he says, if it's this close, give it to the other guy. He said, if you really want to win, you got to win hands down. When I won the USAs, when I turned professional, when I pulled off my clothes and I started getting in there, everybody's like, okay, that guy's got first, everyone else is going for second.
Yeah.
That's what you want. And if it's not that, you can't cry because it's all speculative, you know? Yeah. People feel one way, they like this body that way, they like this person or whatever it may be, but you can't cry. It's like, I think I did this, I think I should have did that, but whatever. If I really wanted to make a change, come on, I could have, doubled up on all my subs, try to get up to like 350 and make myself huge is all outside.
Yeah, but you think that really would have helped?
I think so. Look at Ronnie. He's a fucking monster, dude. I mean, once he stepped on stage, he started looking like that, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
It's like, everyone else is going for second, dude. He was so far past everyone else. It was insanity. Look at people forget. I think people really forget when I've gone to every one of those Olympians. I watched. I sat. It was like everyone else was like they're playing checkers and he's playing chess. If you really want to go there, take it there. You'll wind up surpassing everyone.
So what do you think you should have weighed in on stage at your height to win the Olympia?
At my height, like 315, 320.
320 on stage.
Yeah, I think at 6'4", you got to be that big to compare to those guys like that. But that's like, come on, man. At some point, it's for Quincy, I wasn't prepared to do that.
No, I was going to say that comes with a lot of health risks. Yeah,
and that's why I wasn't ready. And I know right now somebody's like, that's crazy. He's talking crazy talk. That's not true. But I'm like, you're talking about someone that's 6'4". You got to be freaking way bigger. Think about Ronnie Coleman at 6'4", how much heavier he would be.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing it would take for that to happen. But in order for that to happen, there's some serious health risk involved. Genetically, there's some problems going to happen. You know, he more power to him because he deserves everything he's got, the good and the bad. You know, you can't cry. You can't cry because that motherfucker, None of us could touch him.
No, there'll never be another Ronnie.
No, no. I hope none of us could touch him.
Mm-mm.
I've been close around, standing there looking at his back. It's like you got slabs of meat back there. It's like, what is this?
This isn't human. This isn't human.
What is this right here hanging up from the butt? The back side of your what? What is this? Is that even a muscle?
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that. And I've been around bodybuilders since I was, 18, 19 years old. I spent 20 years around bodybuilders, looking at body types, and looking at body parts, and looking at things. Oh, that stuff Ronnie had going on was in another world.
Yeah. You keep up with today's Olympias? Do you watch much?
Not as much. I'll look at some of the stuff like that kid Rami was huge.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, huge. That's crazy looking.
Yeah.
That's crazy looking.
I'm wondering if they don't think he's going to run it like Ronnie did and all them.
I don't think he can.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be able to make. See, the problem is that I think that for some of these cats to stay that size, the amount of subs they got to take, I don't think your body's going to allow that shit.
Yeah.
I don't think your body's going to allow it. And I think the thing that separated him, Ronnie, from other people is he was big to begin with. That's what I'm saying. That foundation.
Yeah, he was natural for a long time, man.
He had a foundation to start, man. Then he just took it to a whole nother level. He had that foundation to start. If you got that, there's a whole other ball game getting ready to happen. Once you throw that other stuff on there, and it's like throwing gasoline on it. Mm-hmm. It's going to make some changes happen really quickly. That's the only reason why I got as far as I did. But you got to start young. You got to start young. You got to start training. You got to really go for it. Not to say it can't happen, but it's just a whole lot easier when you build that foundation underneath it. If you're benching freaking 315 or 400 pounds and you haven't even taken anything yet, you're doing something. It's always better. I tell people, we shouldn't do it when you're this age or that age and like that. No. You got all that damn free testosterone flowing through your body as a teenager. Yeah, start lifting weights.
Yeah.
Because you're going to put on mass that you would have put. I used to go to the gym and do bench press 100 reps, 100 like it was nothing. The next day, get up and do it again. When I was 19, 18. Couldn't do that now if someone paid me.
Your elbows would probably be on fire.
Yeah. When you're a teenager, you can get away with that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I know. The elbows and the knee pains, man. The joys of being tall.
Yeah. Yeah, so you do know what I'm talking about. How tall are you?
6'4".
Yeah, you know exactly.
Yeah, I'm 6'4". I'm 280 right now. So
yeah. Check those partial. That's a good weight. Those partial movements will probably be better for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that.
The partial movements. Yeah, talk to me after we're done with this, and I'll give you some information on that. It's just basically, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. You put more pressure on the muscle without the potential tears. Full range movement sometimes as you're longer or harder, but you put more pressure on the muscle because you get the chance to rest when you put it all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
The partial movements sometimes are better. I do watch Jay do that a lot, and I didn't realize it until after I had learned it.
Mm-hmm.
Albert taught that to me, and I was like, oh, okay. Wait a second.
Yeah, because you don't get a lot of advice from tall guys. It's all guys that are 5'4", 5'5".
Yeah.
They can do those full range motions with no problem.
No, you don't need to be doing those.
Mm-hmm.
No, partial movements are better for you. You're gonna and you'll still grow.
Mm-hmm.
You'll still grow.
Yeah.
You'll still grow. You might even grow more because you're putting that constant pressure on the muscle.
Okay. Yeah, man, I'll try it for sure. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
I hope I was good.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I love talking to you guys, man. I love learning about the old school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got stories for you, man. I see some stuff in Gold's Gym Benz. I have to tell you about people. I'm the Barbarian Brothers, and Lyle Alexander got into a fight in the gym at Gold's Gym Benz. It was the craziest thing in the world to watch.
Yeah. Greg Valentino tells a lot of those stories. You know him?
Oh man, yeah, I do. Yeah. That day, those guys got in that fight. I think I was 21, 20. It scared the crap out.
Yeah.
Guys all like big, gigantic bears beating on each other. Lyle Alexander beat up the Barbarian Brothers, and I love the Barbarian Brothers. I love them a lot, but he was like a force of nature. He was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That guy scared me from that point on. I stayed away from him.
Yeah. I've done some research on him. It's crazy.
Yeah, he was nutty, man.
Mm.
He was something else.
Yeah.
I didn't really talk to him, but I talked to the Barbarian Brothers a lot. I talked to David. David passed just a while back.
I was gonna say one of them just died.
Yeah, David. I was close to David. He did some of the best pictures. I did a lot of photo shoots with David.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of photo work. David took some of the most beautiful artistic pictures I've ever seen. He's really an artist type person, man. He's really like eclectic and really Really great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, all the good ones are gone, man.
It's starting to.
Yeah.
I want to stay around for a little bit longer.
Yeah, nah, you'd be good.
I hope so.
Yeah, well, hey man, we'll do this again.
Yes, sir. It's very good talking to you.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
if anytime you get like a little topic you want to go on or talk about a specific thing, I'm down for it.
Yeah, we'll talk after I end here.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, man. Thank you for coming on.
Very welcome.